Alright.
What's going on, guys? I'm TieFly85, and today, welcome to the channel. We are going to be doing our very first live stream on YouTube, so welcome. We're doing our very first roundtable mashup, and I'm going to let T-Rec87 take it away to let us know what that is.
Yeah, basically what we wanted to do at the end of every week, we go through all our old videos that we did that week, and we just want to go through the comments that you guys have left. We want to read them and talk about them. And basically, if we have any other new things we want to add to what we talked about earlier on the week, we want to be able to add to that and just kind of recap. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to switch over here. There's no editing magic, unfortunately, and so it's a little bit slower of a process. But we're going to start off with Warframe and why you need to play Warframe. So I know you have not played Warframe still, TieFly, because you just refuse to download it.
It's not that I don't want to play it, because I do definitely want to. But for all of you, for like anybody out there, I do have kids. I know Tarek also has kids. We've mentioned it before. But definitely trying to find the time when you're trying to juggle certain things.
Yeah, I know.
I barely have enough time to play Call of Duty World War II, and that game's freaking amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty tough, and that's why I usually look like so haggard all the time and tired, is because I don't sleep. I refuse to give up video games. But anyways, I didn't really have anything new to add about Warframe this week. I haven't really done anything new other than I got locked out of something and I can't progress any farther until they fix it. So I haven't been playing a ton, but our first comment is from Caleb Stone. I've never played this game before, but after this video, I kind of want to try it now. I'm going to download it now. Thanks. Great video, by the way. Well, thank you very much, Caleb. We appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, for anybody who hasn't played this game, it is a lot of fun. So people like TieFly85 should definitely download it. The next one is from Tony. I don't know, can you read that, Tyler?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you can see it.
Next one's from Tony Figure, and it says, "This game is awesome. I play at my friend's house a lot. Great video." So thanks a lot, Tony. I really do appreciate that. And it's definitely great to see, obviously, that other people are playing this game with Tarek, seeing I'm not. So.
Yeah, I mean, I just play with my roommate mainly. I don't play with anybody else a whole lot. I play with a couple other people, but if anybody ever does want to add me on Xbox Live, by the way, my gamer tag's TREC87, and I'm always down to play. If you ever see me online or if you want to add me, I'm totally down. That'd be a lot of fun. The next one is...
Yeah, also, too, if you want to...
Oh,
I was going to say, if you want to add me, too, my gamer tag is TieFly85. So it's the same as our names on the channel.
Yeah, so... And the next one is from Jack Allison. My favorite part of the game is it's free to play and it's definitely a fun game. Everybody should play it. And I totally agree with that. The best part about the game is it is absolutely free. You can spend money if you want to. And it definitely is one of those games, you know, because it is free. It is geared towards, there are certain things that make you, like, you're like, oh gosh, I can only have so many weapon slots and I want another weapon. Should I spend the money to unlock more weapon slots? Like, well, you can. But there's also ways to grind to get platinum by selling like blueprints and stuff on the marketplace. If you're a person who has time to do that, I'm not, and so like some people who do have time can totally do that, and you don't have to spend money. And that's what I like about this game, is it does give you an option. So,
hey, just in case any of you out there in the internet world were wondering who are the people that spend money on microtransactions,
yeah, no, it's definitely me. I mean,
there's one right there.
It is me. I don't have much of a defense to that. I am totally against pay to win stuff. But like with Battlefront 2, all this controversy, I am okay with cosmetic microtransactions. If it's something where my character looks really cool because I spent $5, I am all for it. Like, I'm a total. Go ahead.
I agree with that. Also, too, I have to say, what a win for gamers when it comes to the microtransactions for EA.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's a huge, massive win for everybody that plays video games.
I don't know if you actually heard this, too. This is a little unrelated, but you know Bungie with Destiny 2? They recently got caught kind of doing a similar type of thing, like just a couple days ago, maybe it was yesterday. But basically what they were doing was every time you level up past 20, you would get a bright engram, and that would decode, and you could get like cosmetic items or emotes and stuff like that. And so what happened was people figured out that if you kept playing an activity, or the longer you played, the more you leveled up, the more your experience bar got. They throttled the amount of experience you were gaining. So when you first got to 20, you were getting all these bright engrams, and then the more you kept playing, it kept throttling it and throttling it and throttling it, and then eventually you were like, oh my god, I'm never getting bright engrams, I want to buy a loot box. And Bungie totally got caught red-handed doing it, like yesterday or the day before, and they immediately turned it off. Like immediately, they totally played like we're trying to play it off like they weren't trying to do the same exact thing. They were like, oh yeah, this system wasn't working the way we intended, so we're unhappy with it too. We're gonna turn it off, and it was like the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard. Sorry for swearing, but it was so ridiculous, dude. Like, oh my god, and I've had it with Destiny a little bit up to here. I'm like super pissed about it. Like, it's a great game, but I'm done with it for a little while, I think.
I just don't understand why developers are just so, like, I can understand that you need to make a profit and pay everybody, but come on, people, like, let's not get greedy, okay?
Yeah, dude, well, I mean,
we want to play your games. Let's just not get greedy.
Yeah, but how else am I going to buy my yacht if I, if I don't have that extra microtransaction money?
I need that yacht in Sims.
Yeah, no doubt.
Give me that microtransaction.
All right, so let's move on. I feel like we talked about that all day, but let's move on to the next video, which is actually what I'm super excited about that you posted. I'm really glad you talked about it because I'd kind of forgotten about this movie. Was The Greatest Showman. It looks so good. The
Greatest Showman looks, it looks amazing. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say this is a movie that like when my wife had first like talked to me about it, I was like meh. I was like, I'm not so much into musicals. I think I'll probably end up passing on this movie, and then I saw the trailer, and it blew my mind. You know, like I was just like, holy cow, this looks so good, and I love Hugh Jackman, so I'm super excited for it.
Well, I actually, one thing that I thought was actually really funny that I didn't mention in this video that I meant to was the parallel between, we get Jean Valjean from Les Mis, and we also get freaking High School Musical in the same same movie. Right. So it's kind of funny. But anyways, so I just thought it was a little funny reference there.
That is funny.
That you get both those actors in the same movie coming from musicals. So, and I think Hugh Jackman is an amazing voice. Such a good voice for musicals.
I could have sworn in the first trailer I saw, I didn't really see any singing, and then maybe I just didn't pay attention to the whole trailer or something like that. But when I watched your video, I watched the trailer for it, and I actually heard the singing. I was totally in. Like, I was like, oh, this sounds really good. So I'm super jazzed about this. Our first comment is from Sarah Barnes. I love Hugh Jackman. This movie looks great. Can't wait. Which obviously I think we both agree with you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sarah, for the comment. It's great. Next up on the list, we do have Little Drummer Girl. It looks so cool. I love a good musical. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. Gotta love the musicals.
Next we have Tony Figure. Logan was a great movie. Do you think they will recast Wolverine for the X-Men movie? Because you can't have X-Men without Logan. Also, this new Jackman movie looks good because I'm going to watch it. Great video. Thank you, Tony. We appreciate it. I think. Okay, so here's my deal. I think they will eventually recast Logan. I mean, if Hugh Jackman's totally done with Wolverine, I think they will eventually recast him. But I am going to be so disappointed in whoever it is. It doesn't matter who it is. That's a hard act to follow up to, and I think whatever they're going to do, personally, I think Wolverine is not going to be a primary character in whatever next movie or TV series or whatever he's in. I think it's going to be more of a secondary thing because you can't have him as a focal point anymore because they know everybody loves Hugh Jackman. So I don't know. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, no, as far as it goes for that, I mean, it's kind of similar to the point that I did bring up as far as it goes when you're replacing certain characters in movies that have replaced characters in the past. I mean, I'm not excited for them to replace Wolverine, but I just don't see a future of X-Men minus Wolverine. Like, it's not possible.
Right.
Like, you can't make a slew of X-Men movies and not have Wolverine. Yeah. Like, it's just not possible. So it's inevitable that they will recast. And you're right. As far as it goes, anybody that steps into this role is already going to have like one notch against them because people are so used to, freaking Hugh Jackman. So it definitely will be different, but hopefully whoever does do it, like, you know, steps into it, does it justice, and, you know, we'll all look beyond it, and, you know, Hugh Jackman will just be a memory of Wolverine, maybe. We'll see.
I have a hard time with that. I don't know. But anyway, next comment is from Caleb Stone. I also like musicals. Les Mis was one of my favorites. Excited to see this movie. Well, thank you for the comment, Caleb. I have never seen Les Mis. I don't know if Tyfly has. Have you seen it?
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen. That's where that comment of Jean Valjean. So if anybody's
gotcha.
seen Les Mis, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm still super tired. I'm like, I didn't get enough sleep last night. Actually, I was
good.
I was playing Warframe. But let's see here. Let's see. Next comment is from Deadhead.
We have Deadhead, and the story of the movie looks awesome, and I have always liked the circus. It's sad that they are slowly disappearing. Thanks, Deadhead, for the comment. And yeah, I mean, it definitely is a crazy thing. I remember growing up as a kid, we actually used to go to the circus quite often. I don't know if you guys did. If any of you did, definitely let us know down below. But I mean, it is kind of a crazy thing to see the circus disappearing. I know that there's a lot of different stigmas when it comes to the circus, as far as like animal abuse and all this kind of stuff, like what's right, what's wrong. Any of the time I ever went to the circus, though, I never saw any of that kind of stuff. So it's hard for me to say that that stuff happens all the time, as far as like animal abuse with the circus and any of that kind of thing. So I don't know. I mean, like, let us know your thoughts on it. As far as it goes for me, I always loved the circus, so it's sad to see it disappear.
It is totally sad. I mean, I used to go to the circus. I remember there's a few times I went as a kid, and I actually went to the circus not too many years ago. And you're absolutely right. It is sad to see that it's disappearing. I think it's more the living conditions of the animals. You know, they're always traveling around. They're in cages, this and that does really suck. You know, where you see like an animal's like bummed out, because I mean, how would you feel if you had to live in a fishbowl? You know, that would suck. You know, and so it's a tough thing. I do really enjoy seeing the more than anything, I love seeing like the high flying acts, like the trapeze artists and stuff like that. I think that's really really entertaining, and it is cool to see like what they can get the animals to do with like the proper training. Like you can get like, you know, the elephant to sit and do like all sorts of crazy stuff. But at the same time, I do want those animals to be happy. And if that means, you know, the circus has to evolve and change for that to happen, then, you know, so be it, in my opinion. So I don't know. It's kind of, you know, one or the other. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's definitely evolving by disappearing.
Yeah. So next comment though is from Zoe Lee. I am definitely going to go see this movie. Hugh Jackman is my favorite. He is also my favorite, Zoe. Thank you very much for the comment. We appreciate it. Let's see. So I guess we should move on to the next one. Let's see, what were we at? Justice League. All right. So with Justice League, did you have anything new? Now that we've both seen it, we both had a week to digest it. I guess my question would be, do you have any new thoughts about the Justice League? Because I know we were both super amped right after, you know, we had both seen it a couple. I know you'd seen it earlier, but do you have any new thoughts about the movie or anything else you wanted to talk about?
I would definitely say some of the major things that I didn't really mention, I think, in the video that I can remember anyways, is Green Lantern. I think from now seeing, because I don't know if you've been keeping up with it or not, but they finally did release some deleted scenes, like a few clips of scenes, and they've been slowly releasing some stuff. So it's just crazy to me that there was so much more Aquaman, there was so much more like Cyborg and Flash.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing about it is, what if Zack Snyder's original version of Justice League actually had the Green Lantern in it, and none of us knew? Because I'm pretty positive that it did, because I saw this image of the character of Green Lantern, like, in the movie.
Really?
So I guess we'll have to wait and see if that is a legit deleted scene, or if it's fake.
Just like
who really knows?
Made it, yeah. I mean, that would be really cool to see Green Lantern. I mean, like, I would almost like to see not just another Green Lantern movie, but I would like to see like the Green Lantern Corps, like the whole, the whole Green Lantern Corps, and versus like, like they have like the Red Lanterns and the Blue Lanterns. And I would like to see that universe explained a little bit better. I mean, I do love Ryan Reynolds. I think, he's one of my favorite actors. I think he's super funny. That movie sucked, though. It was so terrible. And,
it definitely was horrible. Even he agrees it was horrible. Okay.
So it's not like, he wasn't aware of what was going on. But, like, they definitely need to re-explore that universe, and because there's so much to the Green Lantern Corps that they could definitely have it a standalone movie and have it actually be good. So that would be cool to see some sort of like standalone movie followed up with like going into Justice League 2. One other thing I did want to talk about just very quickly, I got to mention this. My wife even left me like a little note to remind me. Is that so her family went and saw the movie and after we had gone and seen it, because we both told them, like, oh my god, it's great, it's great. And they came out and they were under the impression that Superman was not dead. I don't know. I really don't know what everybody else thinks about this, but I am positive Superman was like DEAD dead. Like he was 100% dead. It's, Batman just said something about like his body was unable to decay because it is filled with so much power. But the box, actually, the mother box brought him back. It wasn't. He wasn't like sleeping. In my opinion, I don't know if you have a different opinion, Tyler, but in my opinion, he was like he was 6 feet under. He was done.
Yeah, no. As far as the movie, the way that it was portrayed from the movie is that Superman was dead. So like there was no way that he was just sleeping in the box. So he was definitely dead. There's like no way that anybody can argue that he wasn't dead, because of the way that they had to set that up with the mother boxes for future movies as well as Justice League. That's what they decided to go with.
Yeah.
So it definitely within the comic and that whole storyline is extremely different for anybody who knows that particular storyline. So it's just yeah, I mean it's quite a bit different. They're definitely verging off, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was a great movie overall. I don't know what the critics are saying. I mean, it seems like this movie is getting panned across the board. But as far as like with audiences, like it's like resounding a huge like, yes, give us more. So I'm standing with the rest of the crowd by saying, yes, give us more. This movie was amazing.
Here's my thing about critics, and here's what I think is what's happening. Is right now with the critics, the popular thing to do is pan it. Because, some of the bigger name critics are panning it, and so all the critics are panning it, and they're like, oh yeah, because it's like this exclusive club. And because they think they're, different than everybody else apparently. But I think I think critics tend to hop on a bandwagon when they see other critics panning it, then they start panning it. But the audiences, they ended up loving it. And so I don't put much credit into critics personally, just like movie critics in particular. Because most of the times when they say they end up hating a movie, I end up loving it. And so maybe I just have really poor taste.
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's why I don't usually take most people's opinions anymore when it comes to like movies or music or video games or anything like that, because most of the time I end up loving it and they end up hating it.
Yeah.
So you just make sure that you always think for yourself out there. So always think for yourself. If somebody tells you it sucks, you check it out for yourself before you make your final decision.
So all right, so let's get in the comments for this. Zoe Lee, do you want to go ahead and read it?
Yeah, Zoe Lee, thank you so much for the comment. Jet said, just saw it, not sure why it's getting a bad rap, but the movie is awesome. Everyone go see it. Great review. Well, thanks, Zoe Lee, and I totally agree with you. Yeah, I mean, like I just said, the movie is definitely getting a bad rap, but the movie is amazing. And, I mean, so far, it hasn't made back its entire budget as of yet, but, I mean, it's definitely going to make it. And some. Like, it's definitely going to make back the money to justify the DCEU going forward.
I hope so.
It's definitely going to. There's no way. They can't do that. They can't tell us that they're going to make all these movies and then just like, oh, nope, goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, I hope not. That would really suck. It would be super disappointing. Everybody would be super pissed. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
That could be the end of Warner Brothers. If they decided to just cut the DCEU and run, like, that could be the end of Warner Brothers as we know it. And they would definitely have to give back the rights to freaking all of their characters to Disney.
Yeah.
All their Marvel characters back to Disney. I can foresee that happening. If that ends up happening, I guarantee you, just wait. That's what's going to happen.
Pat said, I like that. That's a good name. I wanted more Aquaman. It was good, though. And that's another thing. Aquaman is a really good character, but in the movie, I don't know anybody who's seen, I mean, here's the thing, spoiler alert, but when Aquaman, he doesn't want to join the Justice League, and then, like, literally 30 seconds later, it seems like because there's a body of water, he wants to join. Like, he just, like, goes to him, like, no, and then, like, he's like, I'm in Gotham Harbor, let's do this. And so, there's something in between there that obviously, there was, like, that short explanation thing where he was talking to his wife or whatever, or the Queen of Atlantis, and it was, I thought it was pretty, they needed more there, so, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was definitely a huge continuity error somewhere in that movie. Like, there's actually quite a few, I would say, overall. Yeah. But that, I would say Aquaman, though, was the most confusing throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
And you could tell that they cut so many scenes where it just doesn't make sense for him to be there in that moment, that you're just all like, well, it's like totally noticeable that they cut something right here.
Yeah,
like, because something doesn't feel right.
Yeah, like Aquaman showing up at Gotham Harbor. I know I just harped on this, but, like, how did he know they were there? I'm just curious. Did he like dolphin sonar and, like, figure it out? I don't know. Like, you don't know. You have no idea. So, yeah. Tony Figure says, it was an awesome movie, great review. Thank you so much, Tony. We really appreciate it. You comment on a lot of our videos, so we do really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tony. And yes, it was a great movie.
Okay, so let's move on to, I believe, Rampage. Rampage!
Yeah, for any of you not too familiar with Rampage, it actually was a original arcade game, and it was basically about these mutated creatures that come through, and you just try to destroy the town. That's pretty much all it was. While, like, little helicopters were coming by, like, trying to shoot you, or people would come out of the buildings trying to shoot you. So, I mean, it was a fun little game overall. So it is kind of exciting to see that they are making a movie about it, because for any of you who have or have not seen the video, I mean, you'll know that Rampage never really had a storyline. Like, it's just a simple game that you just smash things. I mean, just think of the Hulk. It'd be like the Hulk video game where you just go around smashing things. And that's pretty much all it was. So it's interesting that they came up with some storyline for the movie. And it seems like it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm excited. I want to see it. I like The Rock, and especially with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who plays Negan on The Walking Dead. I mean, he's going to be amazing. I'm super stoked to see him.
You don't have to see the trailer. You're just like, oh, he's in it. I'm in. So here's my one gripe about this movie. My one gripe, or about the trailer, is I do love The Rock. He's one of my favorite actors. I love a lot of his movies. But my only gripe is that Rampage was a very, I don't know, maybe it was because it was the time that it was made. Back on, like, the Super Nintendo, and I think there was an N64 version, but it was very cartoony. It definitely wasn't, like, realistic. And I just think The Rock was way too serious in this trailer. I think this trailer could have used a little bit of comedy to maybe bump it up a little bit. It just seemed too serious to me. Like, they're trying to take this concept way too seriously. And I'm like, oh my god, it's a video game. Like, like, it's from a video game. Like, chill out, dude. So that was my personal takeaway from it. It looks good. I'll probably see it, but I hope that it has some comedy to it.
Well, I will say this. The movie is directed by the same creator as San Andreas. So for any of you who've seen San Andreas, it's like, it almost seems like The Rock is kind of that same similar character from I literally, before I even, so when I was first watching this trailer, I was just like, holy crap, this is like San Andreas. I'm like, what are we watching right now? And then when it popped up in the trailer saying from the same creator as San Andreas, I was just all like, okay, it must be a shoot. They must have not shot a whole different movie. They just put some scenes from San Andreas and, like, added some digital CG monsters. Like, great. Like,
we can make a whole new movie.
Yeah. All joking aside, the movie looks great. It definitely looks good. But yeah, no, I can totally understand where he's coming from on that, because it definitely seems like in the beginning of the trailer he's really serious, and then but the final scene of the trailer where he's all like, oh, that's exactly what I thought was missing, was a 90-foot alligator with giant teeth, or whatever he says about the alligator at the very end, like that that kind of like took it more to a comedic tone, I'd say. So I have a feeling that's going to be like the tone of the movie. I think is going to be that little part of him.
Right, and it was. I think the line was like a little flat. I was just like, eh. I mean, like, I'd be in full freak out mode if I saw a 9-foot alligator. I'd be, oh my god. Well, obviously I'm not The Rock, and so I wouldn't be like trying to like stop any of this. I'd be hopping in my car and driving south or whichever direction was not towards the city. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I will see it. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I want to see more trailers, but right now I'm very reserved about it. So that's my opinion.
Fair enough.
So no comments on that to go through. Uh-oh, where did I go? Oh, hey, look at that. Our video popped up. Let's see here.
Where's the Final Fantasy VII remake?
Final Fantasy VII, yes, sir. So,
I think everybody's asking that question. Like, where is it? It's been 2 years, people.
Yeah, no doubt. It's been two and a half years. And I know I harped on this in my video, is that, like, they don't... This is something Square Enix is, like, famously bad about, is that they will... they announce something, and it's like they literally, like, had, like, one piece of concept art done, and they're like, this game's coming out soon! And then... we all wait like 10 years for it, like Final Fantasy 15, but that had a lot of development troubles, but that literally took 10 years to make. And they always do this with games, and they need to wait until like the year it's coming out to really announce it. Like they need to like tone it down a bit, because it gets my hopes up, and then 2.5 years later, I'm just like, I'm sitting there wondering, am I going to be alive when this comes out? You know, like, is this going to be, you know, or am I going to be like dead somewhere, like in a hospital or something? So I am super excited.
It almost makes me wonder if they did that on purpose, just to try to see if there's any hype behind it. Because, I mean, Final Fantasy VII, hands down, was obviously one of the best of the entire series. Yeah. But, I mean, obviously, that's the reason why they're remaking it, obviously mastered it. So, I'm wondering if that was the whole reason why they popped that trailer out. Like, maybe they just made a few conceptual arts really quick, made it look amazing, dropped it down, let us see it. And then they wanted to see the reaction.
Right.
Because, I mean, that kind of almost makes sense with how long of a time period in between we first saw the trailer to now. Like, that's a long time. 2.5 years? Like, how much longer are they hoping we're going to keep the hype for Final Fantasy VII going?
Right, well, I mean, so here's a couple things about that I want to say, though. Is that they know people have been wanting a remake for this game forever. Like, they know that this was, like, a huge RPG for so many people. And they did actually say in an interview, and I can't remember exactly who it was, but this was before the remake was announced, and they were saying that, like, you know, yes, we do want to remake Final Fantasy VII, but they didn't want to do it until they could surpass, like, what they thought they could surpass the original, you know, basically by making it something better than the original. And because if a game like Final Fantasy VII, if they screw that up royally and they make a game and it sucked, like, they're done. They are so done. Like, their reputation is done. And so they got to be very careful with that. But, again, I mean, do you remember I don't know if you remember this or not, but there was a PS3 tech demo of Final Fantasy VII when the PS3 came out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. It was basically that same opening scene, more or less, you know, like with the train and Cloud jumps off and the soldiers.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was more or less kind of the same thing, you know, but everybody lost their minds, dude, like when it happened, they were, like on the PS3, like everybody freaked out. And with good reason, because everybody loves this game. And so... and I know I mentioned this in my video, but sometime between, I think it said like April and E3, they're going to be making big game announcements, and I guarantee you that will be in there. They can't go 3 years without saying anything. That would be just disastrous for them, I think.
They better not. They better not. I'll be disappointed.
Right? So anyway, let's go ahead and move on from that guy. And I think that was... oh, last one. So, Gambit. So... I know we had talked about this at one point about Gambit and about Channing Tatum being in there and anything like that. So have you heard anything new really about it or anything like that? I haven't really seen anything other than...
Yeah, I haven't really seen anything new other than all the stuff that I did say in the video. It definitely looks like, I mean, if one point that I didn't add in the video of something that I did see, but I didn't want to say anything about it because it just... you never really know what's true and what's not true when a movie's this far out. But it sounds to me, if I'm saying this correctly, that the LeBeau clan, because you know Remy LeBeau, who is Gambit, it sounds to me like they may be pulling from that aspect of it. So when Remy LeBeau had his own clan, so kind of like the X-Men.
Oh, okay.
But more of like thieves,
Right.
like they're all thieves,
okay.
you know, because that's who Remy LeBeau was before he joined the
like
X-Men.
Robin Hood, basically, more or less, kind of.
Yeah, basically,
Okay.
exactly. He had his own little team of people, and so it seems to me like that might be the direction they're heading, where they're going to do like maybe an origin story.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, it does sound really interesting. I mean, I did hear some like controversy with like the director or something like that. I can't remember what I read, but like that's why this has been taking so long, because I think like somebody stepped down. I can't remember. I don't know if you read anything like that, but
So as far as it goes, if any of you, I mean, if any of you aren't living under a rock, you'll know that Warner Brothers is notorious for having, you know, flip-flop changes of directors every 5 minutes. So as far as it goes, yes. I mean, look, we had freaking Justice League, right? Went from Zack Snyder over to somebody else, Joss Whedon. And then we had, you know, the Daredevil movie for Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
That went through 2 different directors.
right.
Then we had, you know, X-Men Origins went from one director to another. It's just like they can't make up their mind when they're making these movies. Like, what's the best direction to go? Who's going to take us there? And how are we going to do it?
Right.
It's just like they're just like, well, let's give this guy a shot. And then halfway through, it's not quite good enough. Let's give this guy another
Right.
shot. And then he goes back and reshoots 80% of the movie, and you're just all like, it's a freaking Frankenstein. Like, what's happening? So I just am tired of this. I just wish that they would really figure it out, because I am just so tired of Frankenstein movies. Like, I really want... I just want somebody to take over a movie and then just do it justice.
Right. Just do it good, like the way everybody wants it. Yeah. It's a tough thing though. I'm not. Glad I'm not in this position to direct a movie, because that would just be tough.
Are the person who has to say yes or no to like that particular thing, because like I wouldn't want to be that person either. But as far as it goes for X-Men Gambit, I mean, I love Gambit. Gambit was hands down my favorite overall character, so I'm super stoked to see this movie. And there's so much backstory for Gambit that I don't think a lot of people actually know, unless you're, you know, Gambit's one of your favorite characters, that you would know that he's in so many different things throughout his entire career within comic books. So it'll be pretty interesting to see where they do pull from. I'm really excited to see where the movie goes.
That is really interesting what you said about that club. That could be really cool, or his little group. That would be really cool. I am super excited to see an actual trailer for this movie. I think when a trailer hits, I think my excitement levels will, like, you know, go through the roof. So that's it for this week as far as videos we had or anything like that. Did you have any closing thoughts or anything like that?
No, we definitely do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, all of you who did. Any of you even watching this now after the fact, not live, you know, thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate all of your time. You guys are awesome and amazing, and we really do appreciate it, guys.
All right, guys. Well, until next time.
Always remember,
Stay
awesome.